And I think you got to kick this one off with Christian McCaffrey. It's an obvious one, but you have to just remind you guys out there. And I think this is the crux of when you have to decide what you're going to do with him, whether you have him on your team or whether you're trying to put together an offer and buy him. Let's talk about what this guy has done and why I think this is the time. I'll just give it away now that you have to buy. I think this is a guy that's going to win whoever has him on their roster for these next 10 weeks titles. This is a guy that's the running back 3, running back 1, running back 1, running back 8, running back 2, and running back 1 across his 6 seasons. He had the 5th highest scoring season of a running back all time and was on pace to outscore that in his follow-up since he's joined the 49ers. Top 20, he's had 20 or more PPR points, half PPR points rather, in 15 of 16 games. That's 57.6% of the time he's gotten you 20 or more points. He's been a top 12 running back in 77% of his games. He's been a top 5 running back in 54% of his games. He has been absolutely lights out in this offense with Kyle Shanahan, and last year finished first in opportunities, 4th in targets, 1st in rushing yards, 1st in rushing touchdowns, and 1st in PPR fantasy points per game and total fantasy points. He does it all. He's phenomenal. You guys don't need me to fully spell it out for you, but I think a lot of people have forgotten just how big of a difference maker this guy is. And I also look at the situation where the 49ers, they're like a fringe playoff team right now. They're going to need everybody they can get. Ayuk is now out. Debo's in the hospital for pneumonia. I know he's not coming back this week, but ultimately they're going to need CMC if he is ready to go. Now, the risk of buying him, of course, is they put him out there after the bye. Week 10 is where everybody's expecting him to come back. The calf flares up. He's off on the sidelines after the first carry, and oh man, whatever you gave up, you got nothing for it. But the upside of having legitimately a top 5 running back every week the rest of your season for probably a discounted rate at this point, I do think this is the week you have to jump, though, because you have week 8, you have their bye in week 9. At that point, if the CMC owner has gotten to the bye week, they're probably just going to embrace I've waited this long. Let me see what I can add, what happens with CMC. But I think if you can give them something that's going to help push them over the edge in weeks 8 and week 9, I'd hate to say sell Brian Thomas, but maybe a Brian Thomas, J.K. Dobbins, that's a lot, but if you are sitting at 4-2, I guess you probably have to have 5 wins, maybe 4 wins, though, if you really feel good about the rest of your roster that you could weather a 1 loss in these next 2 weeks. I'm telling you, CMC is going to win you titles, and this is the week to go out there, test the waters, see if you can pry him away, and help the CMC owner, help them dig themselves out of their abyss and give them a fighting chance by giving them some win now prospects to give yourself CMC, who's going to win you your league down the stretch. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.